Today on What's Broken, we have got the Sorento making a noise. So you heard that squealing noise. What this one's doing, this is actually a 2019 Sorento. It's got the 3.3 V6 in it. This one is squeaking really bad, especially when it's cold. So when you start this thing up cold, it's just got a constant chirp, squeak. It kind of goes away once it warms up, but as you can tell, even warm, when you rev it up, it gets you that little bit of a squeal noise. So when you have one like this, where the noise happens when it's cold and goes away when it warms up, that's usually a sign of a pulley. The bearings in those things will chirp, and as they warm up, the noise kind of goes away. Usually idler or tensioner. This one we're just going to go ahead, and it's got two idlers on it and a tensioner. Once again, they're all the same age. They got that same amount of mileage on them. If one's went bad, there's a decent chance one of the other ones or both of them are not far behind. So we are going to just go ahead and do all three, where we alleviate the problem and hopefully don't have any more issues in the future. Now, one mistake you want to be sure not to make is to misdiagnose it. So it could be any number of things. You could have a water pump bearing, you could have an alternator, it could have a lot of different things. So what I recommend is a stethoscope. So what this is going to do is allow us to put this rod down on, you can't put it on the pulley while it's running, of course, but where the pulley bolts onto, if you can get this down on there, you can kind of listen for a rough bearing. It's really going to help you isolate exactly where that problem's coming from. This one, once again, one of those idlers definitely was rough. So we also want to look at our tensioner. So that's one thing we'll talk about. We are replacing it on this one, but I want to run you through what you need to look for. If you want one of these, I will throw it down in the description below.
When we look down here at the tensioner pulley is right there. What you don't want to see is that thing bouncing. Basically what that means is the spring in the tensioner has gotten weak. Let's zoom in on this, see if you can see it or not. This one's not bad, but it does have some bounce. What that will do is allow the belt itself to slip. So even if we didn't have one of the bearings in one of these idlers go bad, that belt could squeak if that tensioner is weak and not putting enough tension on the belt. So once again, this one has a little bounce to it, but I also listened to this idler pulley and the bearing sounds kind of rough. So once again, we're going to do both of the idler pulleys. There's one here, there's one down there, as well as the tensioner. If you find this kind of video helpful, be sure to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel as well. We're always working on something out here in the shop. So the first step on this one, we're just going to get this front passenger side wheel off. Probably have to take an inner fender liner out so we can get access to that belt. On this one, it's looking like we're gonna have to get the shield off the bottom. Looks like we just got a bunch of 10mm bolts and this whole thing will come down. Okay, when we look up in here, you have got one idler actually mounts onto the alternator with the tensioner, and then we've got a second idler up here. Now, a belt could also cause this if you got a really old belt, but this one is a pretty new belt. I actually had to put an alternator on this not too long ago, so we know that belt's pretty new. Okay, we're gonna get this belt off of here. If we look right there, there's a place to get a socket. That is how we release the tension off of the belt, and we're able to get this belt off of the pulleys and out of our way. Now we have our belt out of the way. There are these little covers that cover up the nut that holds the idler pulleys on. We're going to get those off so then we can get the pulleys themselves off. Okay, you got a 14mm here, a 14mm there. Loosen those bolts off and pulleys will come off of there. So we're going to have to call an audible here. They actually sent me two of the same pulley, which is that top idler pulley, not the plastic style one that mounts to the alternator. Now, like I said previously, that top one is the one that I thought I heard the noise from anyway. This one luckily is pretty easy to get to. So what I'm going to do is put this one back on, replace that top one and the tensioner still, and then let's hope that that gets rid of our noise. This bearing feels pretty smooth. There's no noise. There's no side to side play. So I think we'll be all right. If not, then we're just going to have to follow back up and replace this one once we get the right one. Okay, our top one is a metal pulley, and there's not much side to side play, but it does feel a little bit rough. It's not terrible. I don't think this thing was gonna lock up anytime soon, but we'll go ahead and get this one replaced and get that tensioner off of there. Okay, here on the tensioner, you've got a 17 here, and then right there, we actually have a 12. Both of those have to come out. Okay, we got the old one off. That's where that 17 went. Right up here is where the 12 went. Get our new one on, exact same way, just in reverse. Now when I put all of these bolts back in, I'm going to use a little bit of blue Loctite. They're on spinning assemblies, get a lot of harmonics. Don't want those things coming loose. One of the tricks on putting this tensioner back on is you got to get both bolts started. Do not put one in and tighten it down, because the whole thing's kind of got to rotate around in order to line both of them up. Okay, we got the pulley put back on here, the idler up there replaced, the new tensioner. Now we're gonna get this belt put back on here. Another thing to pay attention to is that the belt is riding in the grooves on each pulley that's grooved, such as the crank, air conditioner pulley, water pump, things like that. Make sure it is not misaligned when you start it. You could shred your belt. Before we put that shield back on, put the tire back on, I want to start this thing up, make sure there's nothing funny going on, make sure that noise is gone.
All right, that took care of our noise. I'm gonna put my shield back on here, put the tire back on, get all buttoned up, and this job's done. If you found this helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like the video. See you guys next time.